potentially about a visit to Iceland. Hi.
Hello, good evening.
Nice to see you.
Yes, I also enjoy seeing you, and I'm looking forward to meet you soon.
Good. I'm thinking this video could be good for people that are maybe planning to learn more about nonviolent communication, just to get a feel about what it is, and then maybe later something about the course.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it would be good just to have some description about what nonviolent communication is for people that maybe have heard about it but don't know very much about what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, it is about communication, as the name is saying, and especially, well, communication between you and me, for example, but also how I am communicating with myself. I guess you also know that at times you talk to yourself, well, how could I be so stupid, or how could I be so unreliable or whatsoever, and the same I could apply to you. How could you be so stupid, so unreliable? So we are in the middle of shame and blame, and for me, a very important experience about nonviolent communication was to stop telling myself, blaming myself or blaming you. And this gives me kind of a very different approach towards myself or towards my friends, people around me. And it works in that I realize when I did something I later would label as stupid, or you did something, then I try to meet a need. For example, well, some days ago I went away from my house, and when I came back I realized the door was open. I had forgotten to close it. So some years ago, without nonviolent communication, I could have blamed myself. Well, how could I be so stupid? Running away, not closing the door. What could have happened? Thieves could have come in the flat and taken my valuables out. And then when I came and saw that the door was open, I told myself, oh well, take a deep breath and imagine what had let you behave like this. And then I realized I was in a hurry. I wanted to pick up friends from the airport, and I wanted to be in time, so I really had a need to contribute to my friends' lives, that they didn't need to wait for me, and that I would be reliable. So I just had run out and forgotten to close the door, and for good luck nothing had been stolen, but well, I was able to really tell myself, okay, it's because you really wanted to be in time to see your friends and you were in a hurry. And I felt so much relief after I had told myself, realizing, well, you didn't blame yourself. And otherwise this could have gone on for days and days, telling myself, how can I be so stupid? And so nonviolent communication is about talking to myself in a different way, realizing there was in Marx a good reason to behave like this, and this gives me much more ease and joy in my life.
But if people are not thinking like this, what do they think about then? I mean, it's most of the day for me is blaming myself and other people. And sometimes I just totally get lost in this thinking about, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have finished this already, blah blah blah. And the list of all the mistakes is getting so long. I have to just run through all the mistakes and all the things that I should have been doing already. So I get sometimes really just stuck in this whole loop of just trying to make cover all the stupid things that I should have blamed myself for. It's like I can't even get done going through the whole list of mistakes, you know, in some days.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, are you willing to share one mistake you did recently, so we could find out what was a good reason behind it?
No, I'm feeling a bit shy.
Okay, that's fine.
I could, yeah. There's one thing I should have done. My daughter's thinking about looking at another school to go to, and I was going to call the teacher. That's one thing. It's maybe not a serious problem, but that's something that I had planned to have already done by now. That is. Other things I've been doing, maybe I've been even more upset about, but
let us stay with this.
Yeah, this is pretty easy to admit, because everybody knows that it's not a serious case, but something I would have wanted to have already done.
Do you have an idea which of your needs you tried to meet by not calling? Did you do something else that seemed to be much more important to you at that time?
Yeah, it's been very busy, and it really has been so busy that I have no real, really cannot see all the things that I should be doing. I cannot schedule them. It's just sort of beyond what I can organize, you know. So
maybe is it protecting yourself from being overwhelmed and being able to take a deep breath and to relax a bit, so that when you are calling the teacher that you could be really present and, well, really focused on what you want to talk to him or her?
Yeah, I can relate to this, because this is important for me, and I want to be in a good mood and really discuss it like in a relaxed way. It's like really important to me. So I would maybe want to be in a good form, but it is not really difficult issue. So I don't really see. I met a person by chance the other day to discuss this, and it was really relaxed and open, so it was not so difficult, but I don't know.
Well, I would like you to stay with what I heard from you first. One thing is that you were very busy, and it was difficult for you to find a time where you could reach the teacher. They are also busy. And also find a time when you would really be focused, so that you could clearly talk to the teacher. And I would like you, or to invite you, to take a deep breath and just connect with this and check how it feels then, after having taken a deep breath, if something changes. How do you feel now? Yes.
Better. I think I have lost my priorities. I am too worried about what other people think I should be doing, and not negotiating with them about how to use my time. So I'm trying to keep everybody sort of happy and not really being successful with that. So so a lot of things sort of get not done, and then by this focusing, I feel that I should prioritize this, for example, this task, because it doesn't take very much time, and it will not harm my duties toward other tasks that I have. probably just give me more energy and focus to finish these things. But I was maybe sort of feeling guilty about other things that I should already have finished, and then I should not try to enjoy myself doing something that I want to do, or something kind of guilt about something that I want to do, and then let's put a lot of energy on stuff that I'm sort of responsibilities and stuff like this.
So I wonder, are you willing now to put different priorities to your schedule, and where would you put talking to the teacher now?
I really just should make a regular written list of everything, and put on like a short list of things that have deadlines and need to get done for a certain time, and then if something is something I could not do at all, inform people that I cannot do it. But the way I see this now is that my most important thing is to write down the things I promised to do, and to give a sincere and truthful estimate of how long it will take. This thing is easy for me to prioritize. I was thinking about it today, and we had to talk about it, and so this is easy. But in general, there are a few things where there's the same situation.
Well, I wonder, when I'm hearing from you, I should do, or I should prioritize, I should whatsoever, I fear that you won't get doing it, because if you are telling yourself, I should do something, then it's really kind of forcing yourself. And then there is something else in you telling you, oh, well, I am not going to do this. There's so much pressure, and I want to live my autonomy, and I want to decide what I am doing when. So there could be kind of inner struggle in you. I should really do this, and if I don't do this, I'm a failure, or whatsoever you are telling yourself. And then there is the other part, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I don't let myself be told what to do and how to behave. So that's my experience from how I had been reacting when I was telling myself I should do. And what supported me was to overcome this should and transform it into I want to do. I take responsibility not to act on how other people expect me to be or how to act. Instead, I tell myself I really want to do it because, for example, I really love my daughter and would like to support her to get to a school where she might feel better. So I wonder what you heard from me and if this is somehow resonating with you.
Yeah, this is resonating quite well with me. Some of the shoulds are relating to promises that I made and to work and things like this. So sometimes I think I have really no choice in the matter. But yeah, so I agree that especially if I feel overwhelmed, there's more really than I can handle, then this autonomy thing will kick in, that I feel lack of self-respect and not putting my own needs first, and at least enough so that I will feel energized and happy. And So I do feel this inner conflict, yeah. And there's a waste of energy somehow, wasting time thinking about the things like that. But yeah, there is a fear of how people will react to my you know, if I try to do this thing in a different way.
Well, if you want to hear, I'd like to share something I learned when my children were very small. Are you willing to hear?
Yeah.
I learned not to make any promises anymore. Because I realized they asked me, will you read from this book to me when I'm going to bed? And I told them, well, yes, for sure, I like to read for you, and I like to be with you, to cuddle with you when you are going to sleep. And then an emergency came in my practice, and then I couldn't get off in time from my work. So when I came home 1 hour later, they were still awake because they had been waiting for me to come and read for them. And then they accused me, well, you promised us you wanted to come and read and cuddle with us, and now you are late, and now you are too tired to read. And I told them, okay, yes, it's true, I promised you, and I'm really sad and frustrated. I didn't keep my word. So after some time, I was able to get some idea about what I did, and I promised myself not to promise anything anymore for a time I couldn't predict if I would be able to do so. So nowadays I'm really very careful about making promises because I never know if I can keep them. Something might happen, and when I promise something to someone, I tell them, for now I can say I really want to do this, and at the same time I'm not sure if tonight or in 3 days time or in 5 weeks I will be able to keep it. And I wonder how this is for you hearing it. And then we check with each other how it is for them hearing it, and maybe we can come up with something else. Or they are relieved knowing I will try my very best, but I can't promise really to be in time or to do this or that. And I wonder how this is for you hearing it.
This is, I understand this, but it's like there's people that are not, I wouldn't know how to say this to them. It's family members, relationships, job especially. I work at one place half-time and then part-time other places. And so I don't promise the guys in work that I will cuddle with them, but but even so, we made the plans to do something, and it takes longer than it was anticipated, and so behind schedule, and so there's pressure, and then I think work pressures can be difficult then because you schedule something and then it takes longer than expected, and then sort of everything else sort of just get pushed off the table, you know, in my mind at least. And even though I would have time to do it, it's just sort of too scattered from all this stress of unfinished projects. But I want to be a good worker, but not being able to do things on time, it can be difficult because I will blame myself for how long it takes, you know. I tend to think it is my fault that it takes longer than it was expected.
what I learned about work is that usually it takes longer than anticipated. And when I commit myself to some work, I try, if possible, to put maybe 1/3 more of the time anticipated onto it, so that it's much more likely that I will be finishing in time. Because I realize usually it takes longer. There's maybe a phone call coming in which is distracting me or whatsoever. We can never predict. And so nowadays I try to schedule more time than I might use, or I think I might use. And I wonder how this is for you.
Yeah. This is in many ways it is quite relevant, but also my job is with computers and some things, setting up some systems you never tried before. It's very hard to estimate how long it will take. And if something doesn't work, you don't know why it doesn't work, then you don't know anything about how long it will take. You have to find out what's wrong. So sometimes something that when you figure out what was wrong takes no time at all to fix it, but then finding out what it is took way too much time. Maybe because I wasn't concentrating, or maybe because it was just really difficult to find out. So this is a bit freaking me out, but I was very happy the way you approached my question about what nonviolent communication is and what you would be teaching even in Iceland now. I noticed you come here once before, that when you were teaching, someone was unhappy with that you hadn't started teaching, but you were showing us how you communicate with someone. Someone was there communicating with you, and you were showing how communication is done, nonviolent communication. But some people, or someone, at least one person, was unhappy that you didn't take charge of the situation. This is something I really got pleasant surprised, that I was thinking, oh, she's the teacher, she's not in charge, what is going on? And then I figured out you were trying to show us something, and then I tried to relax and experience what was going on. But all these thoughts about how you are teaching and what you are teaching got in the way for me a bit in the beginning. So this interview now about you telling us facts and figures goes in straight into like nonviolent communication.
Yeah, for me it is important to come up with a balanced mixture of teaching and experiencing. I can teach you a lot, you can read books. At the same time, it is still very difficult to know what you are really doing, and not doing in a mechanical way. For me, it's really important that you experience the relief, how stress goes down, how your body relaxes when you really get the empathy you need. And empathy means I'm really completely with you. I see where you are struggling. I can see which needs of yours are not met, or maybe are met, or you try to meet by acting in a certain way. And then when you realize, oh well, she understood it not only with her head but with her heart, then there is a relaxation. And I don't know if this is now on the YouTube too, but I saw you several times smiling when I had guests your needs, or when I had tried to support you finding out about your needs. So that's what I would like people to experience, to really get an idea how it works for your body, for your mind, if you get into a situation where someone really listens to you and gets what is important for you. And I wonder if this is kind of explaining my approach you experienced.
I experienced when you were here with your course something that I spoke to also to two other participants about things in the next days and weeks after. I noticed things. I started noticing things that I had not been aware of in my feelings and behavior, and also it seemed that I had learned something I wasn't really conscious of learning on the course, and one is I noticed I wasn't blaming myself for a while, at least, not hardly at all. I wasn't blaming myself, and for me the next step was I wasn't blaming other people for what they were like. I mean, there's one friend of mine is imperfect, and I didn't get upset when I noticed the imperfection of the other person. So it was more relaxing toward people that were not meeting my expectations. So it had a great effect, even though when you were teaching the course, I was, this wasn't not so much strict teaching. I noticed watching videos about nonviolent communication and reading books, I got a good sort of mental image of what it's about. But this hard thing didn't really kick in till you were really showing us and interacting with us using this method. So it was really deep and good experience, I think.
Yes, and for me it's really important that participants in my courses can experience it, so they know what I'm talking about. Because I think it's really difficult to imagine something like this happening if through all your life you had been blaming yourself, you had been blamed by others, you blamed others, and to realize, oh well, there is a cool quote of Rumi, a Sufi master of the Middle Ages. He says, beyond right and wrongdoing, there is a field. I will meet you there, and I would like us to get there.
Is there a what? Beyond?
There is a field beyond right and wrongdoing.
Okay.
I will meet you there. And I like this quote because it's so appealing for me to get out of this thinking of right and wrong. Because when I say something is right, then at that moment, exactly, I create the wrong. And the other way around. So it's so difficult to live in a world where we are judging each other. And at the same time, it's okay because it shows that there is a need, there are needs that are not met, and then we can try to figure out which needs are not met and how we can meet them. So it's not bad or it's not wrong to judge right and wrong, and at the same time, it's much more fun to live in a world where we can overcome judging right and wrong.
But I've been like studying spirituality and reading about yoga and stuff like this and meditating for a while, and then also politics and all kind of things where there's a strong emphasis on doing the right thing. It is like very much focused on right and wrong, and being a spiritual person, you do this and this and this and this, and then you're not even allowed to think stupid thoughts and impure thoughts, you know. And so it goes like it gets very tiring, and then you make terrible mistakes. Maybe you see someone eating a hot dog and you think, oh shit, I should have not become a vegetarian, you know. And then you have a hot dog and then you say, oh shit, I shouldn't have had the hot dog. And it gets all really just totally spending all your energy just doing the right thing all the time. So I wasted, or used a lot of, not wasted, shouldn't say, I used a lot of energy trying to be a perfect person, or somehow meet some standard that I put for myself, and yeah, I used blaming to try to get me, you know, to behave properly. Yeah, this is one of the mechanisms I used when you know, if I do a mistake, I will hate myself, trying to hate away all the mistakes, you know, hate the part of me that does bad parts. You know, if I hate myself enough, the bad part will go away. This kind of thing, it can get really destructive, I think, for me.
Did the bad part go away when you hated yourself enough?
I don't remember that happening. But I really enjoyed being depressed. You know.
Ah, okay.
I could really get into a really nice, juicy, depressive kind of feeling about that. It was like a nice, like warm, cuddly, you know, all around. It's like a warm sweater kind of, or like even warmer than that kind of feeling of being totally depressed, or what I don't know, maybe not that depressed is not the word, but it's like, it's some kind of cozy feeling of being just having this terribly negative attitude. I don't know why I'm using the word cozy, but it's like, it's just like, it's even, I could even say it's like a drug, you know, effect.
Is it because it's familiar for you? You know this feeling. You know how to deal with it. You had been in this state of mind for a long time in your life.
Yeah, and just also being extremely tired of trying to be a good person and meeting my expectation. I'm just so tired of it. Then at least, you know, it may be a bit expensive, feeling rotten about not doing stuff, but at least sort of get some time off of being the perfect person, or what you know, not, yeah, you know what, maybe what I mean is like taking time off of trying to play the role somehow.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I understand is that you really tried to be a good person, and at some time you really were fed up with it. You didn't want to be a good person anymore, and I can relate to this very well because I also tried it. And that is what I tried to explain earlier. Once you try to be good, there is another part you create which is bad. So this is why diets don't work. If you want to lose weight and you start with a diet, it works for a few days or a couple of weeks or even months. And then you start eating chocolate again and you start doing stuff again you should not do. So in the end, it doesn't really work out. It gets even worse. Because there's one part in you again that says, I don't let myself be told what I should do. I am doing what I want to do anyway. So you can tell me I am bad, but I will do it. And the other one just gives in and is frustrated. So what I recently came up with is I like to offer workshop. This is kind of living with a paradox. The more better and perfect I want to be, the less I am going to be. That's my experience. And what I come up with recently are workshops I like to call From Being Better to Being. So I stop to want being better. I just want to be. And nonviolent communication is me supporting in this. Because if I can get over these judgments and just find out, well, I really try to meet a need. When I started to crave for chocolate after my diet, and I spoiled everything, or your hot dog or whatsoever. Well, I tried to meet a need, and this might be a need of one part of me saying, I need autonomy. I don't want to be told all this stupid stuff about healthy food and whatsoever. I just want to eat something I really like. And that's something also maybe I got as a child when I was in pain and my parents wanted to comfort me. They gave me something to eat, or they gave me some chocolate. So now I realized, okay, when I'm eating chocolate, maybe I need some comfort. I need some warmth, some closeness to someone. And then maybe I could ask a friend to just hug me, or I could go and have a bath in a hot spot or whatsoever, in a hot pot or whatsoever. So I can find different ways how to meet these needs. And I just can be. And I found this so relieving not to think anymore in terms of right and wrong. And I wonder how this is for you.
Yeah, it's good. I started thinking when you were explaining this about when you were saying with the needs, this list of the needs that people have and the strategies. It's like there's quite a few. I haven't really gotten a feel of what they all are, but even so, this thing about autonomy, I realized quite clearly that is one that I think is important for me, and participating and giving some back to society and being able to be a member of society, and some things I noticed right away, other I was not so much aware of, but I was just got into thinking about these strategies and needs, and the one thing I remember after the last course was you said in certain circumstances I'm not happy because some need is not being met, and then I realized that this was not the reason for me to expect this need for being met there. So that is just make an example that I want to have some kind of need met regarding people will listen to me, and then I complain in my job that people don't listen to me there. Then I think, oh, okay, maybe it's not the place for that. Then I could maybe find this need met somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So you're saying, like, instead of getting chocolate, what really I needed was something else, and the chocolate was the indication that I needed something. Mm-hmm. But then also the the expectation of something being met. You know, my girlfriend should meet this and this and this need, and my children should meet some other needs of mine, and it's already decided where all the needs get met. And if my children don't show me respect, I get really upset. They're not, and so this helped me a lot to see that it was not automatic connection between the need and where I should get the need met. So this made a more relaxed interaction with some people already. You know, then when I see a need not being met, that there is nothing wrong with that person. It's just I was having expectation from that person, which was just totally made up by myself. It had nothing to do with the person, and they never thought they would meet this need of mine or intended to do it. You know, so this is was a really opening for me. Notice this.
Well, thank you for sharing this. This shows me that you really got the idea that I wanted to get to the participants, and I'm really glad because that is one important essence of nonviolent communication, to be willing and to know, to be able to take responsibility for your feelings and your needs, and not taking something personal that someone else does. And yeah, I'm really happy to know you got it.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So I think this is a good video we could put on the net. So,
yes.
But there's one more question. I'm just curious. You were just coming from some teaching somewhere, some code. Was it in Israel?
Yes.
And you also go to Africa, some places?
Well, I was in Israel recently, and then I have been going to Kenya for 6 years now. And what I'm usually or mainly doing there is, well, some part is teaching NVC, and what I very much enjoy is, well, using NVC as an approach to reconciliation work. That means, for example, in Kenya, I had been working with 2 tribes who had been at war with each other for about 30 years now. And we were able to work with the elders and with the young warriors to find ways to slowly get out of this physical violence, killing each other. It's not yet completed. We need to talk also to the women. And I think we also would need some more meetings with the elders and the young warriors, and at the same time, something changed. And the same is true when I was in Israel. We were 5 trainers working with people from Israel and Palestine, and also internationals from other countries. And one important part was to listen to each other's pain, to their experiences, fear they have of each other, anger they have looking at the other people, and they were able to talk to each other. One participant told me in the beginning, I have come here because I fear Palestinian people, and I want to get to know them and to find out if I really need to fear them. And in the end, they hugged each other when they left. And so that's very important work for me, and at the same time, we would need much more of this kind of work. And especially also to listen to people who are on the extreme sides of each party. We will try to get invited to and to talk with them and to listen to them. why they are so violent, which needs they try to meet by being violent, by killing each other, by taking land of the other people, and all these kind of things. And my hope is when we are doing this more and more and getting more people, then things might change. Is this satisfying you, or do you have more questions about it?
No, I was just thinking because we have some unresolved issues here, some unspoken issues, and some already being discussed about conflict between people that have a lot of unresolved debts with their houses, and poverty, unemployment, and then some rich people, and all kinds of things that are being discussed in our society in Iceland, and it is just this like people experience injustice and hopelessness, and I don't know. It's like